Well, first of all, I thought that Western Carolina was a really good basketball team coming in. They're even a better basketball team after having a chance to play against them. They have a very dynamic guy at the point guard spot who you can't guard by yourself. They've got a very dynamic guy in the low post who you can't guard by yourself. So anytime you commit two people to those guys, and they've got snipers everywhere. Tonight, it was really impressive, the shooting, the passing, the spacing from an offensive perspective by their basketball team on the road in both halves. I think we're probably pretty lucky we were able to force them to 22 turnovers because that was kind of the only way we stopped them. So very well coached, really good basketball team. A lot of respect for them. I thought there was a lot of really positive things for our guys. I thought we worked really hard and we played better against Lipscomb. Didn't do well under the 8-minute mark. We came back for 4 straight days and got after it really hard and aggressive and tried to learn some of our lessons. And I thought it showed up again tonight. I think we're making progress. There was progress in the Lipscomb game. There's really progress tonight. For us to score 76 points, score more points than our opponent. The second half was good. 18 assists, 11 turnovers. That's outstanding. We actually got more free throws than our opponent in a game this year, which is really good. We're getting the ball to the right spots. We're being more aggressive, driving the ball and forcing the fouling situations. So I am, and the staff are just very encouraged with these guys. We have so much room for growth, and we've just got to stay with it. We got to stick with our code of what we do, how we operate on a daily basis. Got to keep our minds on the right things. We got to give great effort. Our attitude and body language tonight I thought was really good, and just take ownership. When you take ownership, you learn from all these evaluations, and you don't stay the same. Mm-hmm. You add something to your arsenal, and that's going to be our challenge, especially with a break where it's going to be a little bit comfortable. We're going to relax a little bit, go home. We've got to come back with a razor's edge and get excited about going and playing one of the great venues in the SEC and a really well-coached basketball team. A basketball team who went to the NCAA tournament last year in Ole Miss. So a lot of challenges coming, and we're going to have to, as excited as we are about some of our growth, we got so much more to do, but we're going to need it because right now teams have 12 games on us to figure out who we are, what we can do well, and they're going to start taking those things away.
Questions? Coach, during those runs where you're cutting into the lead a little bit, what specifically were y'all doing better or well?
I think, for the most part, it was, defensively we were able to get a stop or a steal or get a rebound, and there were obviously a lot of moments in time when they scored 89 points where, we were taking the ball out of the net. But, everything starts with defense, and all good defense ends in a rebound. I thought tonight we were organized better offensively for a longer period of time. We still have to fight the urge when things aren't going well for us to try to take it on ourselves. If I do it once, Larry does once, Junior does it once, Keyshawn does it once, it doesn't work. That's not the type of team we are. We have to have good spacing. We have to execute. We got to be really aggressive in that. We can't be wild and out of control. And then we got to have some poise and move it to where it needs to go. When we do that, then we have a chance to score the basketball. Then it just comes about making or missing. And you can live with that because that's the game of basketball. But what ends up happening sometimes when we don't have that poise, we don't have that spacing, now you can't execute because it's going to be one guy trying to drive versus 3, and that's just not going to work. So it starts with the stops, but I thought we were more organized on offense tonight for a longer period of time, kind of like we were against the Wright State or, even for a large period of time in the game against, Winthrop or Western Kentucky. We obviously weren't perfect in those games, but we weren't self-check as much on offense. Now defensively, I still feel like that hopefully tonight we'll understand that when we're late to the party, what I mean by that is when the ball is moved to your man, if you're not there and able to make him dribble the basketball and these guys catch the ball in rhythm and shoot the ball when you're late, nights like tonight can happen. That's an outstanding shooting basketball team. They won't be the last team that we play that will be able to shoot the ball like this. So we talked a little bit after the game. We'll obviously talk a lot more about how to prevent being late to the party. And it all starts with positioning and being on edge and alert. If I'm in position, then I got a chance to help and then get back out there. If I'm not in position, I got to run in and then I got to run back out. You can't do that. That won't work at this level. Certainly against a basketball team that's put together the way they are. They're put together with, like I said, 2 dynamic players you can't guard and then shooting all over the place.
And then on the adverse side of that, in the first half, you guys only shot 37% from. What was with the shooting in the first half?
I thought we got some good opportunities. I do think we got hung up there a little bit. And they play pick and rolls on the side a specific way, and we were ready for that. But we were slow responding to it, and it was probably later in the half to the middle of the half there where we started getting some good movement out of it. We were kind of sluggish getting started. We were kind of seeing it and kind of waiting for it to happen as opposed to playing ball, moving it, have some pace with your offense. Oh, here comes that coverage. Now respond accordingly. I think you saw us where we had a flurry of threes or 3 straight in a row where we executed correctly. So you got to give credit to them. They did a good job defensively with that, and we just weren't able to respond quickly to take advantage of the defense. And those battles are always going on. I think for our team, it's probably for me to equate it to like learning your mathematic tables, or your multiplication tables. Like you don't have time much on the court to kind of use your fingers and count.
Right.
You got to be able to see it, and you got to go do it in the heat of battle. And you've only got 40 minutes to get it right. You've only got so many possessions to get it right. And against a team like this, on a night like they had, we needed to be a little bit sharper, certainly in the first half.
And Larry, despite the score, 34 points in the paint for both of them. How were you guys so successful in the paint?
Just being a little bit more focused around the basket, just doing our job like Coach asks us to do every day. I think the biggest thing today was my mindset coming into the game, just trying to contribute for the team, catching and scoring, running on the floor. I wasn't really worried about nothing, just trying to do my job, just trying to do my best. So it's the same game, just different mindset.
Larry, with the way the schedule's been, getting close to the end of the non-conference slate, what lessons have you guys learned?
We played against some really good teams, so this game was a lesson learned to get back in transition. Coach Pelphrey prepared us for that earlier before the game, so we learned a lot of lessons, and we're just trying to learn and grow every day. We're taking a lot of blows right now, but we're just trying to absorb them and keep it going. So we just want to be tough. He said it today, like we're just going to keep taking hits and keep going. Coach Pelphrey has the mindset of he's not like I said out there. The schedule was intentional. Everything was intentional, playing these tough mid-majors, so we're not running from nobody. We're going to take the hits, and we're just going to grow and learn and just behind the way he's asking us to do.
For me, I think, today is a huge day for Larry, it's a huge day for Darius, huge day for our basketball team because when you have the right mindset, and you heard him talk about that, mindset matters. And we're convicted by that. It's something that's really important. Talent will let you down, but there's a lot of really good basketball players who may not be the most talented people on the floor. And when you have the right mindset in practice, it translates to the game. He had a great mindset in yesterday's practice. Darius had a very good mindset yesterday, and it translated to the game. Playing hard, understanding your job are critically important. But a lot of people have knowledge, and they're kind of theorists, right? They know stuff. But a practitioner is able to take that knowledge as somebody who pounds on his craft every single day in practice, and then he is able to get out there in the heat of battle and get it into the game. Today, he and a lot of our guys on our team were able to get some of the things into the game. Now our challenge is how can we close this gap? So today is a 13-point gap. So can you have a tough enough mindset to learn, grow, and get better and shrink that gap versus our opponent? I think we have a huge amount of growth, maybe more so than even the teams we're playing, because I think some of the teams are really good and they may not have as much growth, but we got huge growth. And as long as these guys continue to understand that their mindset is critical, the mindset is everything, it's what separates teams, it's what separates individuals, then we'll continue to grow. If that slips at all they've done is given people a little bit of understanding who they are, and if we come out our next game, we're the same in that game as we are right now, then that gap will be even bigger. It'll be even bigger. So I'm really proud of him today because, we had a lot of challenging things go on, and practice should be challenging and harder, but he's responded well, he's responded with maturity, and it's so interesting. When you have a great attitude, when you have good body language, you usually run into playing better. And even when you make mistakes, you absorb it. You say, you know what, I got it. I'm learning from that, and I'm moving on. So for us, this culture, this program, sticking to the code, understanding that mindset matters is everything.